fascination with.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so fucking cool.
I wanted to fuck him up. So,
I will tell you the Ballad of 5G Man.
For the folks at home, that's a straw sale.
And there was this homeless guy, like, taking a shit.
Half of them say it's the grip angles.
I don't play video games, man, so I don't know.
You're hitting me where it hurts, Pierce.
It's not unsuppressible. You can add a different barrel to it and suppress it.
Yeah, the new guy used to have to get in the shark suit and go out there and direct traffic.
he's like, you come from Glocks, don't you? And I was like, yeah, how do you know? And he goes, because of your grip.
For them, what they care about is large capacity, out of the box, supported by the OEM manufacturer.
You sell the wooden RPG.
I'll take it. Not a single lick of this conversation needs to make it into the final cut.
And we are live. Welcome to the Sharos Tactical podcast. My name is Will Mead. I own Sharos Tactical, and I am here with my homies. I have Omer.
Hello.
Pierce Stroud.
Hello.
And the amazing
Dean Carroll.
Dean Carroll. Welcome. Welcome to episode 5. How was your guys' week?
Did you forget Dean's name?
No, he's the amazing Dean Carroll.
Okay.
No, I wanted to say amazing, and then he would say Dean Carroll. And then hopefully he would say, amazing Dean Carroll. Wonderful. Amazing.
Ah.
Omar, how was your week?
It was great.
How's production going?
Really well.
Is it really?
Yeah. We,
Are you just telling me that?
No, seriously. Everything is running smoothly. All the fires are being put out. We're doing great.
You think he's lying, Pierce?
He could possibly be lying.
Possibly. I would never know until Friday at 6 o'clock after all the... Do you get freaked out when the stuff doesn't get shipped out?
Oh, it's the best because, you know, I get home. I'm like, I'm done with the week. It's Friday. It's all over. I get home. I crack open a beer. I sit down. And then 3 beers in, I get a phone call. Hey, the pallets are still here. So now I got to call AAA Cooper of Tampa, pretty drunk, be like, hey, guys, my fucking pallets are still here.
How many beers did you say?
I'm a lightweight, dude. I weigh like...
100 pounds?
How much do you
something
weigh?
like that. I'm actually the heaviest I've ever been. I'm 145 pounds right now.
Oh, my God.
All right.
It's been a journey for me.
Are you putting on muscle, or is that be your weight?
I am bulking, and then I will cut. Definitely. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Bulking up.
So when the pallet... So Omar is in charge of operations, and basically what that means is...
He's the fall guy.
He's the fall guy for the factory where we do customization, where we build our ARs, and every Friday stuff gets shipped out. Like, I think, how many guns did you guys do last week? Like 1,600?
Yeah, something like that.
Like 1,600 different guns get sent out to different distribution places and different shops every Friday. And then Omar is in charge of it not getting shipped. If it doesn't get shipped, Omar! The fuck! Right?
Yep.
And so that's new to me. You're actually drinking. So I probably... that would be a really good thing to get out of it. You can just say...
Boss, I've had 3 Smirnoff Ices. I could not do it.
I can't talk. And Pierce, how was your week?
It's a week.
Okay, good content. Dean?
My week's going okay. Smooth. We got our shipping labels in for the trade shows coming up.
Oh
That's
God.
all set up with the craziness of moving crates around from this back here and what we talked about.
It's summer trade show season.
That gets me excited.
Yeah, so we're doing a dealer show for Chattanooga Shooting Supply, which is a distributor. We'll be in Chattanooga, I think, on... What date is it, do you know?
29th and 30th.
The 29th and 30th, so we'll get up to Chattanooga on the 28th and set up, and then we'll sell a bunch of our guns for Chattanooga Shooting Supply. So if you are a dealer, hopefully we'll see you there. I want to go get the steak dinner at the Haunted Place.
That bartender was extraordinary.
Yeah, so there's a right across the hall in Chattanooga is a haunted hotel with a really good steakhouse restaurant.
Oh, wow.
And it's usually too busy for us to even get a table. But so we usually just sit at the bar, and the bartenders are always pretty decent at restaurants like that.
Yeah.
And they had like one of the best, what's that thing with the bone?
Tomahawk.
Tomahawks, yeah. They cut it for you.
Ah.
Oh, God, it's so good. But allegedly the hotel's haunted, and you have to pay extra, and you can have a haunted wedding, and you could spend your honeymoon in the haunted suite. Like, I looked into it, I thought maybe I could get Lori to do it, but...
No dice, huh?
I never asked her. I'm sure if I asked Lori, like, hey, you want to spend the night in a haunted hotel and see what happens, she'd be down.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would love to do that.
My wife is down for most things. Like most harebrained ideas I come up with. Hey, you want to do this? Sure. Sounds like fun. Whatever. Always.
Just do it and see what happens.
Yeah. Omar, did you watch Game of Thrones?
No,
Why?
it's like 60 hours.
Hater.
Hater. But I get it. I get like it's 60 hours, but you knew we were going to talk about it, and you knew I was probably going to ask you about it. But still,
I watched the first episode.
what could you possibly be doing?
Video games mostly.
So you can't take 1 hour. It's just to see what we like about it.
I mean, I gave the first episode a try. I saw
one?
the of Game of Thrones.
Like the first episode. Of
Yeah,
the
I
original
saw
Game of Thrones.
I saw the two siblings having sex, and then a little kid sees them fucking, and then they throw the kid off the tower to break all of his bones. And then I went back to playing my video games.
You pretty much got the gist of it.
That's the gist of it. Yeah, that's the most important event in the whole thing. Starts the War of the Five Kings. They throw Bran out the window. Did you see the new episode, Pierce?
No, I haven't watched it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I haven't watched it. I've stayed away from all of the talkings about it. I haven't gotten to the newest episode of House of Dragon yet.
Okay.
Spoiler. No,
You didn't watch Civil War either.
Nope. No, I
Great.
didn't. Yep. You guys already talked about that movie for like a total of an hour on the podcast. I
It's
think I
not
got
true.
the gist of it.
It's not true.
You should watch it.
I said I'd watch it. I just haven't gotten it.
I'm just gonna break all the rules. Fuck it. I'm not gonna watch Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna watch those fucking movies. Fuck them.
no,
We'll talk about shit I want to talk about. Country music, HKs, and hunting. God damn
the
it.
gist of it.
Is that what we're talking about? Is that what's on the list? Is
Yeah, it is actually. We
Oh,
got
cool.
HKs and hunting and stuff like that. Yeah.
that good?
What did you think of the episode, Dean?
I liked it. I know you're kind of. It was entertaining. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go in with very high hopes because the first season wasn't all that great to me. So I'm enjoying myself with
Yeah.
it.
Lori's already out. She's like, forget it. I'm over it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she's not. Well, because like she's gonna blame it on me watching it first without her, and then she's just gonna say, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna watch it if you're not gonna wait for me." But she has the ability to watch it all day when she's doing custom stuff. You know, because she likes to watch TV when she's designing stuff, and or at least hear it in her ears. And I'm sure she hasn't watched it because
See, but season one kind of started like that. It was, and then it got better towards the end. This one probably the same way.
To be fair, you also told me we were doing the podcast this morning because I texted Dean last night and asked him when we were doing it. He said I didn't know. He didn't know.
I have Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow, so I can't.
Oh, I know.
I can't do that tomorrow.
I know that,
you were done with
but I thought I had more
I
time
have
to do my
it's
homework.
like
than-
it's the last of the last.
You said that a month ago.
No, it really is. Like tomorrow, like we're at the last boss of the level 20 adventure of Bloodlords. We're at the last boss, I think, and I think it's all over with. And I think tomorrow is the last, and then I probably won't play again.
Okay. Well, you know the rules. If you say it's your last one, and then you do it again, then you're a nerd. I think that's how that works.
What, you mean if I play again, or if
You think that's what makes him a nerd?
what could possibly make me a nerd?
He's talking about playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
You're
but
concerned about his
he's
level
quitting,
of
so it's
nerddom.
fine.
He's been saying that since that one guy killed his bird.
I didn't say I was going to quit when the guy killed my bird.
You're pretty upset about it, boss.
I was not that upset about the bird. I was upset when I died the first time.
Is that because you lost all your things?
No, you don't lose all your things. Yeah, you do lose all your things. No, I wasn't. That's not why. But I did. I never said I was going to quit.
You need a better healer. It's the only thing I understand about what you're talking about.
I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid, and yeah, that's me. I'm a fucking nerd, and I played it for a while, and I got back into it pretty hardcore for like 2 years, and I could probably write a book on the nerdiness and the intricacies of playing online Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, but I was playing I might have had a problem. I was playing 5 times a week, and then I axed.
God.
Yeah, 5 times a week, and then I axed. It was at one time. It was 6 times.
Nice.
I was playing, I think, twice on Sunday, and then every day of the week. Right? And then I started working production more, and I axed all of them. But the one that I kept Bloodlords, because I've never been able to finish it. I've started it 6 times, and finally I found one group where I can get through to it, and I just want to see the end of it, and then I'm done, and then I probably won't play it again.
I don't believe you.
No, really, man. I mean, maybe if it's something else comes out pretty cool, I'll jump back into it. But I think I think I've gotten my D&D fix during my midlife. That's what it was. I think it was a midlife crisis, and I started playing D&D again instead of buying a Porsche. I was like, let's play Dungeons and Dragons.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
I guess how much you play, right?
Well, it's like so they
Do you
play.
pay for this?
You do. You pay like
Yeah.
$25 a pop.
A day?
Yeah. Yeah, per game. Yeah. I mean, it's it's 4 hours. I get to do it from home. I mean, it's not that bad. Okay, well, let's move on. Did you guys hear about the Sig Next thing?
Yes.
Only from you.
A little bit, not really.
Bit. So Sig Next dropped today. Today is the 25th of June. Sig Next is a big release that Sig is doing. Like, obviously, they didn't advertise it that well because I don't really understand what it is. But
It's like a 20 product
32.
32 product big release. Like most companies don't do it like that, and they just decided they're like, hey, here's all this stuff at once, which is kind of cool. But most people are focusing on smaller releases now, but that's kind of huge.
I think so from what Carter told me, Carter Jameson, our Sig rep, he said that they wanted to kind of do something like how Apple used to do releases. Like you guys, so Apple, when they used to release like the iPod, the iPad, the iPhone 4, whatever, like they would have these big like rally things and it would be like concerts and
They're trying to sell package deals.
You mean Sig?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. Like they didn't, like Carter wasn't.
Every page that we flipped through had 3 or 4 accessories on it that go with what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's Sig every time though. They always do that. Anytime they come out with something, they send you a sheet.
Smart.
And they send you, this is the ammo you want to buy with it. This is the optic you want to buy with it. How many do you want? And then you call your rep and you place your orders.
Package deals work.
It's not really a package deal. You get no discount.
No, I know, but it doesn't. It's
Oh yeah, like from our perspective of selling package deals, yeah.
yeah.
Omer, what do you think of the Sig Fury? Do you know much about the round?
Yeah, I've been looking into it a lot, and I think it's really cool.
Is it in the game?
Oh, it's in all of them right now.
Is it in all the games?
Yeah, it's the hottest thing right now because it's like it's replacing the
hot
M4 was the big thing. So every game that's trying to make something like set a little bit into the future, like we're so smart, we're just gonna make all the good guys carry spears, and that's what like every game in the last 2 years has been is all the good guys have spears.
Gosh, I wish I would have talked to you.
Oh, so what caliber is this? We say Fury?
Yeah.
277 Fury, also known as 6.8 by 51.
Okay.
It's the Army's new adopted round. It's similar. I don't want to say similar to a 308. It's by 51. That's the only really similar part about it. But it's basically the idea of we'll make the round a little bit smaller, but we'll make it so hot that it's going at a ridiculous speed, like insane PSI. So speed over everything. It's basically taking the logic of the 5.56, where it's just smaller round, faster, and just putting steroids in it.
Yeah, they take like the 277 bullet is basically the 6.8 is just a big 270, and they take it and they drop it into what I thought was a 308 case, I think, because that's the same mags and everything. But it's a fast little.
Is it the same mags?
Yeah. They feature
Okay.
AR-10 mags. The big thing is there's 2 different kinds. There's the training rounds, which aren't packed nearly as hot because the really hot rounds they wear way faster.
The barrels.
Yeah, so they have the standard velocity rounds, which is basically just your big heavy round, and then they have the ones that are supposed to only be used in combat that only the military has access to right now, which is just cranking up that PSI. And that's the whole thing about the spear is that it's able to handle those pressures and it spits that thing out. The idea is it can defeat body armor that it's not supposed to be able to defeat just because of how fast it is.
I'm interested to see the effect that it has on armor, because I saw a picture from that came out of like the Ukraine conflict, or it was either Ukraine or Israel, but somebody got hit with a 12.7, which is a
Russian 50 cal.
yeah, it's a Russian 50, and the body armor wore it. And I couldn't imagine what the dude looked like, but he lived. So I'm interested to see how the 6.8 actually affects body armor. and how it affects the body armor market, because that stuff's moving real fast, but a lot of bigger bullets have tried.
I'm interested to know what video games it's in.
We've been using it it's been in Call of Duty for a couple of years now.
Okay,
Really?
because because today when I was trying to figure out if we should, how many we should order and what we should order, I was thinking of who's going to buy the Spear and Fury, and so we're like, oh, how do we get? But if it's tradition has shown, if it's in video games, people buy it.
It's in every
video game.
every video
Oh,
game
fuck.
that's like set right now or a little
Goddamn.
bit into the future.
Yeah, Sig licensed it to a bunch of video game companies.
I mean, because that's how everybody knows what the honey badger is, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's what pretty much started Q.
And still, like, the honey badger sells. I mean, we sell them every day.
Well, Q wasn't a company.
We sell Q products every day, no matter what.
When they put the Honey Badger into Call of Duty Ghosts, it was the modeled off the AAC, like the original prototype Honey Badger, and it got so popular they started making it.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Call of Duty Ghosts, the Honey Badger being in that is really the reason that Q is around as a company now, which I'm so happy they are. But
Because of Call of Duty.
because of Call of Duty,
I'm sure there's more to the story than that.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean, just putting it into the popular spotlight, like if there's so many little obscure things that the Honey Badger
It had nothing to do with Kevin and Sig going this way.
could have.
I mean,
Absolutely
Pretty
could have,
sure,
but
like-
I don't think it would have been in the pop culture spotlight nearly as much as it is.
not in the pop culture lexicon.
Yeah, I mean, Honey Badger is so prevalent now. People start calling anything suppressed and small Honey Badger builds, and that's, I think,
Right. I had somebody call up or message or something, and they're like, "I'm trying to build a poor man's honey badger. What do I need to do?"
What did he want to do?
Oh, he wanted a very cheap 5.56 blackout 5-inch barrel, and then he wanted to know what can to go on it.
How much did he want to spend?
Oh, I didn't. I just ignored him.
I would entertain that.
No, I didn't ignore him. When people shoot you DMs on Instagram and Facebook, like if you start replying, like you can sit there. My problem with it is you don't even know if they're reading what you write. You know what I'm saying? Like you can take time, effort, and energy into putting a long message together and saying, "Yeah, this is what I think about this," and they're just not going to read it. So I go with the like, please just call the shop, come in, email us, but like I don't like to spend too much time DMing.
Just give him Carter's phone number.
Yeah. He would probably talk to him. Carter's a great rep for Sig Sauer. I love the kid. So you think people will come in and buy the Fury?
now switching to a new round is always difficult for the consumer, especially when it's as expensive as 277 is.
Oh, Jesus, it's so expensive. Do you know how much it is?
No,
Oh God, how much was it? Pierce, do you remember? It's
Yeah,
like,
I didn't do the
Is it
math
like-
on cost to consumer.
It
I
was
did
like
it on cost to us.
I think that, so they're selling like a quasi pallet of it or something, and it's basically just 2 ammo cans in a box, and I think it's like $2,000. It's something. It's crazy.
people will buy it. It's obviously not for everyone.
If they don't want to spend that, but they still want it, they'll just buy it in 308.
Yeah,
The other big thing they came out with today was the Flux Legion. Did you see that?
yeah,
What do you think of that?
it's cool.
Do you not like it, Pierce?
I mean, what's the purpose?
What do you mean, what's the
an
purpose?
Unsuppressible PDW until he calls you back. That thing right there in front of you rings, and Carter says, "Oh yeah, I found a way for you to suppress it. It's an unsuppressible PDW."
It's not unsuppressible. You can add a different barrel to it and suppress it.
Is the barrel not threaded that comes on it?
Yeah, so Sig released something that I learned a while back was Sig was becoming partners with Flux. Mm-hmm. And Flux, I guess that's the company that makes the Flux Raider, and the Flux Raider has always been a pretty hard to get chassis for PCCs. Mm-hmm. And I was really excited because I can't fucking get them, and I thought, well, fuck, I get Sig stuff all the time. We're kind of a Sig dealer. I was really excited, and they came out with the Flux 320 Legion, and it's a 320, but with the comp on it, so it doesn't come with a suppressed barrel, which is, if suppressors are the big focus of the industry right now, which Pierce had no problem telling Sig Sauer today.
It's really cool. Like, that Legion gun by itself is a cool handgun. Like, I like that 320 Legion. I like the Raider 320. I just don't think that is the direction with as hard as the industry is going towards being quiet right now, I just don't think that was the right move. That I don't want to take away from the gun or the chassis or anything, because Fluxes are super cool and it's a nice chassis, and the Legion version that they put together is a very good product, but I just don't think that it was the
right move.
All they had to do was use their other 320 slide that's ported in the top of it with the 3 ports, their older one that I'm sure they have plenty of, and a threaded barrel, and it would have been perfect on my end. But you asked me what I thought. So I thought that them throwing that compensated slide that they put into everything now, I just don't think that the juice and the squeeze with having to get a longer barrel to suppress it, I just don't think that it does enough for the pistol to justify that compensator.
Is it more of a competition gun?
No, it's got a stock.
It's got the slide like the 365 Legion does with the ports in the front of it, and it's got a shorter barrel. That's how they're doing all those now.
I have it here. I have that. I will give it to you to look at, Dean.
Yeah, it's like a chassis, so it's got a stock that can fold. It's got like a mag holder in the front that you can use like a grip.
There's all the propaganda right there. I printed it out for the podcast.
Very cool.
That was our big email that we got today.
Did you forward me that email?
I know, I forgot.
I personally don't get the point of chassis guns. I mean,
yeah, I don't
like this. It all stems from the Roni.
What?
Seems like but like I'm trying to be positive about it. I mean this is really nice, and Fluxes have been super predominant in the industry. It got people away from the Ronis that are atrocious. So I mean, like, yeah, this is.
I love the Roni.
Yeah, that checks out. I just don't think
I loved
the
it.
shorter barrel with a compensator, air quotes, built into the slide is the move right now with the way the industry's going. I mean, look at how busy we've been lately just on suppressor sales alone, and how many compensated guns have we sold in that time.
I would bet they have a hard time getting 320s to suppress, and that's why they did it.
I agree, but I wasn't going to go there.
Oh. We've had problems like getting the 320 to take cans. Like 320s always take cans if it's a threaded barrel that comes on the gun and it's a Sig can. But we've had little issues here and there. It's not the easiest gun to suppress. And Sig has had like, do you remember when they came out with the what was it? What was the orange gun or yellow or whatever, tan? Not the cane break.
DH3?
No, it was the
rifle,
the MPX. They came
the
out
Copperhead.
The Copperhead.
Yeah, with the castle brake built into the barrel.
With the castle brake built into the barrel.
Looked like a rook chess piece on the end of it.
So the first time I saw that gun, I was at a dealer show for a company that's no longer around called, what are they called? Ellett Brothers. And it was a big deal. It just came out and all the Sig people were there talking about it. And I grabbed it so I could take pictures of it and put it on my Facebook page, so hopefully it would promote our business. And I'm sitting there taking pictures of it, and then I look at it and I say, whose fucking idea was to make an MPX without a threaded barrel? Because I didn't really.
Was he standing there?
Yeah, I didn't look good. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Somebody had to say it.
Yeah, it was. But I was like, but same thing.
I don't know what it is with Sig and their hate for suppressors.
Well, no, they do it all the time.
Like the 5.56 Rattler, they make it so that you can't suppress it. They're fixing it now. I like that. The Rattler LTs you can, but the new Copperheads you can too. It's just I don't know why they thought, hey, let's make this so that you can't put a can on it. It's a great idea.
It's probably because getting it to run right. Because if you make something that won't suppress well, and you put it on the market and give them the ability to suppress it, and it doesn't suppress well, then they're going to call Sig and give them grief for not having a suppressible firearm.
Yeah, so let's make a 5-inch 5.56 that you can't do anything about.
Yeah, but some guy makes an adapter for the Rattler now, and then the Rattler is now discontinued.
There's the LT now. Yeah,
there's the LT now, and then I think it's probably no. What's the word? It's on purpose that the Sig brake is on all the LTs. Mm-hmm. So they're just trying to push people to their cans because they know that those cans will work on there.
They're trying very hard. Have you seen the how hard they put the muzzle devices on there.
Oh yeah, we've seen.
You cannot take them off. Like I've seen Nate back there with a wand that's glowing red, just working on it for hours trying to get those flash
He
hiders
pulled
off.
out his wizard wand.
Freaking everything but an acetylene torch.
Akabadabba. Like Harry Potter.
We've had to send some back to Sig for them to just take the flash hider off so we could put somebody else's can on it.
It's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
But I was so excited for that thing, and then I saw it. I mean, I had the SIG glasses on, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so fucking cool. Look at that, Pierce, and Pierce is like, that's an unsuppressible PCC chassis.
It's unsuppressible PDW. I'm like, way to go, Sig.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. They also came out with thermals.
The clip-on school.
Yeah, the clip-on's cool.
Clip-on school.
I like them coming out with thermals that work because people don't trust thermals. It was like when we brought in Fusion, it was really hard to get people to trust Fusion, but people buy it now and we go through them. But I mean, how many companies back in the day did we go through where their fucking thermals were garbage?
Well, people have just have a hard time trusting price point night optics.
And because they don't work. But I think you can, I think you can trust Sig Sauer when it comes to the new thermals. So
Yeah, they put a lot of time and effort into the new thermals, I think.
that gets me excited. So I have a portion of the podcast I want to call questions from Luke.
I like it.
Right. So Luke Andrews are.
What's this?
I told him I won't. Every day I come in, if I'm in a really good mood, I just start tearing at him, and I make fun of the Lions, the Detroit Lions, and I make fun of Jared Goff, and I make fun of today was the Catholic Church. But Luke is like a diehard Catholic.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah, he's a diehard Catholic.
I never knew.
I don't know about Die Hard. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's diehard Catholic.
This can't make the final cut.
Why not?
Be a bunch of priests showing up tomorrow. Last thing we need.
May the power of Christ compel you. What was your first gun, Pierce? And tell us a little bit about it.
Handgun or long gun? I guess it doesn't
Doesn't matter. I said first gun.
It was a single shot 22-250.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a Rossi with a bull barrel, some scope that came on it.
Where'd you get it?
My dad bought it for me.
How old?
12.
And where did you go shoot it? Like here, local in Sarasota, or did you go up to Georgia?
Knight's Trail. I hunted with it a couple of times, but I already had family guns that I've been using for years. So, it wasn't 22-250 at the time. I was already shooting 270 and 30-30 and 30-06 and stuff like that. So I didn't really understand how powerful and flat that caliber was at the time. I ended up selling it to my uncle, and I got an AR a couple years later.
Like before you graduated from high school?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. What about you, Dean?
Man, I got my first gun at 31. A custom built AR-15. I got all the parts here. It's the first time I walked into this shop. And I got a, jack lower?
Calico Jack.
Fortis upper, a lot of Fortis parts on it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you decided to build your own upper at 31, or you decided to build your own AR at 31?
Yeah. That was my first gun.
And you had what, the Calico Jack, the blower with the skull?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what parts did you put on it?
Fortis upper. I can't remember the barrel. It's a fluted barrel. It's got like flames down. I can't remember the company I got
Had
that
flames?
from. Yeah, like the flute's going down. It mimic like flames. Fortis brake on there. What optic did I put on that? So remember I was going back and forth with the Trigicon. Oh, the EOTech with the magnifier. I ended up getting, and the whole thing was built here. I literally walked
You had
in
an
here.
EOTech and a magnifier?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you afford that?
I'm good at saving money. So.
Yeah,
I came in, you weren't here.
okay.
And who was here? Oh, Jason. I thought Jason owned the store.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Jason Wallace.
And I remember, I think I came back after the gun was done. I forget what I was buying, maybe magazines or something.
Did we paint it or something, or did we just build it
I was
for you?
going to paint it and ended up not. It just got built here.
Okay, good, because you
Yeah.
were taking too long. Or like, oh, yeah, fuck it.
No, we weren't even. I don't even know if you guys were doing Cerakote then. I know when you started Cerakote, my Glock 17, I got painted here.
Oh, God.
I remember you said it would take a while. That was all right. And I love that gun.
Do you still have it?
No, 'cause what did I upgrade to? Oh, my Desert Eagle. I had to get my Destiny at that point.
Did you trade it into somebody, or did you
I
sell
traded it in here.
Oh my gosh.
It sold right away.
Somebody probably has.
Someone
the
has
Dean
it
gun.
somewhere.
Yeah,
It's
someone
the
has a
history
Dean
of
gun.
Dean, yeah.
Yeah. But the AR-15 was the first.
Did you fire it often?
All the time. Because when so I met some new friends. They got me into guns. They said they would go shooting all the time. So I built this $4,000 rifle, and they did not shoot. And it was just me shooting by myself.
Really?
Twice a week, every weekend.
Where at
Take
Manatee?
aim.
Take aim?
Take aim with this loud break on it, just shooting. I didn't know any better then.
You know the owner for Take Aim died?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, the owner. Did you know that?
When?
Maybe back in March.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, he died of COVID.
Ooh.
Or he got COVID and he died.
I
Don.
already hear that.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Like, I was there the other day, sighting in something, and there was like this really spooky picture of him, like a memorial picture, like him, like in the clouds, and it was on the slat wall.
Yeah.
And I looked up, I'm like, man, if I ever fucking die and they do that, I will haunt every one of those motherfuckers.
Oh, it's gonna be the biggest picture I could make.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a flag that drapes over the door.
Yeah, the guy was a staple of the community. You know, he was around forever. And he passed away, and then I think his daughter is taking over Take Aim and the other guy and all the other guys. They're pretty solid people over there.
Yeah, I like Take Aim.
I mean, I can say I enjoy going to the range there.
Yeah, anytime I go to an indoor, it's
Except
always Take Aim.
the ammo flying over the stalls and hitting me in the head. What about you, Omar? What was your first gun?
It's my IWI Zion I bought here. My AR.
And do you still have it?
I still do. It's still my go-to. I've got
How many thousand rounds out of it?
12,000 now, and still has yet to fail me once. Never had a failure to eject, never had a failure to anything. It has run flawlessly every single time. I'm still surprised. I'm waiting for it to fail. I keep running it, waiting, and now that it's got the can on it, I'm expecting that to expedite the process. But I don't clean it.
Oh, that's my next question.
What?
Do you clean it?
I do not clean it.
Wow.
Bullshit.
I bought it. I've cleaned it, I think, twice, maybe 3 times total. But it's probably got about 6,000 rounds through right now without ever being cleaned, as dirty as it gets, and still runs flawlessly every single time.
Dean, do me a favor. Go grab a Zion. It's right over there.
I got the 12-inch one, and when I was 18, my dad bought it for me.
I think your dad's in the CIA.
Yeah?
I do. Omar's dad is this very. He looks like
Other side.
he looks like a secret agent.
Yeah, my stepfather, he's American, which, you know, white blonde guy. When they see him and then me, I'm like, that's my.
Just like I think Pierce's dad saved Sarasota at one time. Mr. Tom Stroud. Take your time, Dean. Yeah, that's it.
My beauty.
So that gun.
This gun right here.
You have that gun.
This
So
is
you
a
have
16.
12,000. So that's the Zion 15. It's something that like I really like IWI products, and ever since the Zion came out, I made a point to get him inside the shop. I think it's like the best value AR on the market, bar none. But you've shot 12,000 rounds out of it and not cleaned it. Or you cleaned it 3 times.
Cleaned it 3 times total. The last 6,000 rounds through it, I haven't cleaned it once. It was $800, I think. Mine was a 12-inch one, so a little bit shorter, but it's amazing. I'm still confuddled. I've shot my other friends' way more expensive rifles and had them jam at the range many times. My own personal one, still,
It's never failed.
it's never once failed. And I'm like, each time I'm expecting it to. It's like, okay, you're on your last legs. You've got to be by now.
Even with a can.
Even with a can. The barrel's probably got to be smooth bore by now. Like,
No way.
I don't know what it is about these, but they're built extremely well.
And they're cheap. Like they're not a lot of money. They're sub $800.
Best AR under $1,000 easily. I would argue best AR under $1,500. Just personal experience, it has never failed.
Why'd you choose the Zion? Because you were selling it inside the store, or did you go do research on it, or what happened?
I spoke to the gunsmith a lot, and he kept
Nate?
Nate. He kept telling me to buy a Danny, and I was like, man, I'm like 18. I don't have $2,000 laying around. And he was like, he proposed a couple other things for me, and he was like, you could go for the FN. The FN's all right. You could go for a BCM.
Too heavy.
BCM's all right. I put the 12-inch Zion in my hand, and the size of it was really what sold me. The 12-inch barrel. Like, at the time, I didn't know anything about ARs. I didn't know if it was going to be good, if it was going to be bad. I was just feeling them and seeing how they felt. The 12-inch to me felt like the perfect length for my size at the time. Still does. And I think that was the only reason. It was just that the pistol version came in a 12-inch. I really liked the 12-inch. I really liked the way the rifle looked. So I got it, fully expecting it to just be my beginner rifle that I use, and then when it fails me, I move on to a Danny. And I have a Danny now. I mainly still shoot my Zion. Again, just...
Which Danny do you have?
I have an M4. A1.
What do you have? You have the M4, and you don't shoot that one over the...
I still shoot that, but I shoot my Zion more, mostly because of, like, spite. Like, I want this thing to die already, so I can finally be like, oh, yeah, the Danny's worth the money. And 100% it is. But this thing has surprised me.
You've probably still got 90% of your barrel life left.
It's insane. Never had a snake
12,000 rounds?
I am sure it is 12,000 rounds.
Like you count the ammo that you...
Every time I go through 1,000, yeah, I tally it.
And it's still just cooking.
Still cooking.
Wow.
Never, and I mean, like, even with a perfect rifle, you expect to have the one dud round, or you expect to have that one stovepipe failure to feed, whatever it may be. It has never failed me.
Wow.
Love this thing.
IWI.
If you're looking for your first AR under 1,000, heavily recommend it.
My first gun was Rossi 3-inch revolver blued with wooden grips. I bought in 1997 or 1998, drunk at the Palmetto Gun Show, private sale. Couldn't hit a fucking thing.
The Bradenton Special.
The Bradenton Special. I bought it back when I used to still drink, and I bought it hammered on a Sunday morning from the night before, and couldn't hit a thing, and I sold it to a dude named Ray before I had a FFL. I sold it to him, and he was the driver of the sign company that I used to work at. I was a sales manager at, and I took the money, and I bought my first website, and I bought the logo.
Logo for Sharkos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, like I paid. We had a web guy working for us, and I paid the guy. Like I was like, he was a friend of mine, and he gave me a web, or was it? It had to be more money, but I took the money and I paid him, and I got a website out of it, and I got the logo. That's what happened to my first gun.
It's a good sale.
I think my second, like the gun that I really started shooting though was an SKS. Like I would get every paycheck, I would go and buy 7.62 ammo, and then eventually I got a 22, and I would buy 22 ammo, and I would go to Knight's Trail and shoot every Saturday and every Sunday if I wasn't at the gun show. Like just walking around the gun show like a mindless zombie.
I remember you saying there was an SKS in here, and you said it was the only gun in this entire building you would never, ever sell.
It's a different SKS.
Different SKS. Yeah, so there is an SKS somewhere, but it's a war trophy from Vietnam my dad brought back. But yeah, if there was one gun that I would never sell, there's an SKS here somewhere, and my dad brought it. My dad brought it back from Vietnam, and it was cut, and somehow he got it welded back together. And I remember like when him and my mom split up when I was 3, I would go to his apartment in Philadelphia, and it would be on the wall. And I just thought, I'm like, man, that's the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he would never let me touch it or anything. And then I had a gun shop like maybe 5-6 years in, and then my dad was cleaning out his house in Maine, and he's like, Pancho, that rifle I got from Vietnam, do you think you want it? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's like you got it from a VC or something? No, I traded 2 packs of cigarettes. It's not that cool. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, Dad, I own a gun shop. Of course I want the war trophy from Vietnam.
2 packs of cigarettes.
It's probably a lie.
Okay.
Like there's probably a story behind that SKS from Vietnam, but he wouldn't tell me. I asked him before my dad died. I asked him everything about his military career and what he did and where he was. He wouldn't tell me anything.
Oh wow.
Like I never knew he had like a Bronze Star or 2 Bronze Stars, or his or I never knew he went to jump school until he died. Well, I knew he went to jump school, but right before he died, but because I think we let one of the kids use his old fatigues as for Halloween or something, and I noticed there were jump wings on his
Yeah.
fatigues, and I'm like, why do you have jump wings on your fatigues? And he's like, because I went to jump school, fuckface. I'm like, well, you don't have to call me fuckface, but he's like, well, I went out for special forces. I'm like, well, why didn't you didn't think to tell me that growing up? And he's like, I don't know. Well, why'd you do that? He's like, it was a sexy thing to do.
Did he get in Special Forces?
No, he was already a major. So he said that when during like Vietnam, all the officers went to jump school if they could because it was the sexy, cool thing to do, like to try to get into the special forces.
It was more money.
Yeah, maybe he would do that too. Yeah, he would definitely. He was into money, and so he went and did it and went through it, but they said he couldn't because he was a major. And I think that that pans out. Like they didn't want majors; they wanted majors going doing other things.
Yeah.
So, what about you? Is there any gun that you would never get rid of?
Oh.
I feel like it's too early in my collection to really. I want to keep that Zion for a while, just being like this. I want to be able to say down the line, this was my first rifle. This is how I built it. That's why I haven't really changed much about it. Like I've kind of gotten in its final state. I kind of just want to leave it at that. Later down the line, I can be like, hey, this was my first rifle. This is how I built it. This is what I got now. I can kind of compare it. But no, I don't have any like sentimental guns for me yet. Hasn't been long enough.
You're still just a baby. You're still just a baby in the 2A world. You know what I mean? What about you, Pierce? Is there any gun that you would never get rid of?
Any of my heirloom guns.
What constitutes an heirloom gun?
Anything that I didn't pay for that my family left me.
Such as?
I've got shotguns that go back in my family since the middle of the 1800s. I've got my grandpa's Model 19 Smith. That'll never go. Hunting shotguns from both grandfathers. I stopped hunting with those. But no, I'll never get rid of any of that stuff. Probably my Knights too. I'll keep my Knights forever.
Oh yeah, you got a Knights.
Yeah.
I don't have a Knights.
Why not?
Oh, because it's not they're not easy to get. Like you have to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody in order to get them. Like the Knights are difficult to get. Like I've only been able to get uppers, and then if I get like a full one, I mean, it's from somebody trading it in. Like I'm not cool enough to get Knights complete builds or lowers. Like there's a kid who comes in here sometimes. He works there, and I keep trying to bribe him to like, dude, just get me a fucking lower. And I'll build one. You know what I mean? I'll try if I can just start with the lower. I can build the parts, but I can't get one.
Oh wow.
Do you know the secret of getting Knights guns, Omar?
Know someone who knows someone. I mean, I see a lot of them on TaxSwap. That's the only website I've ever seen them on. There's a lot of people selling knives.
I've yet to go to TaxSwap.
You should. It's the best, in my opinion. It's the best like gun buying website. The sales aren't facilitated through the website, so you don't pay TaxSwap and then the money goes to the person. It just allows you to set up contact with the other person.
It acts like Instagram the way the website works.
Kind of, you're just
scroll
scrolling
through it,
and then you're seeing offers. But I have seen more Knights rifles on TaxSwap like daily than I have on any other website.
How do they get away with it?
all the actual transfers are facilitated through FFLs.
Okay.
You can't just send something to somebody's house. It's got to go to like all the anything that's got a lower is actually a firearm.
So it's kind of like Gunbroker, but it's like Instagram.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, but you don't buy it through Gunbroker. You just, if
Right,
Gunbroker's
got
just
it.
introducing you to the person.
Right.
then-
So at Gunbroker, you actually you pay through Gunbroker now.
exactly, yeah.
On TaxSwap, it's still like you call a guy up and you pay him.
Yeah,
or
you
something
talk
like
to them, you can negotiate, you can do whatever you want. But it's a cool it's $10 a year, I think. So it's paid, but I mean it's super cheap. I've found stuff on there like daily. I find things on there that I can't find anywhere in stock. But if you want to get a Knight's gun and you want to get it you don't want to be put on a huge wait list, I'd say go on TaxSwap, look up KAC, and then you'll probably find some complete builds.
No, I'm not
that's where
that.
my upper came from.
I'm not that way. I'd rather just I'm not into I like going to the gun show sometimes and walking around and trying to find like a gem. But I'm not into shopping for guns for whatever reason. I don't want to go look for anything. I'd rather have something come to me here and then me just take it, or I'd like to be able to order something from the distributors and take it from the inventory. Like I don't want to go.
Never get a Knights that way.
Yeah, I don't think.
Maybe
You still think there's gems at gun shows?
No, I was about to say that.
I've got 3 Chinese AKs in the back.
The word gem is relative, then.
I mean, I have 3 different Norinkos that I've gotten. Yeah, you find not lately, but all the Norinko AKs that I have are from the gun show.
You also have an in with Knights with Candrew.
Why, does his dad work there or something?
Candrew's dad works at a machining company that makes the barrel nuts for Knights.
So you think that Andrew's dad can get me a lower?
Maybe.
Or like I've got the sights.
I mean, that's the only person that I know of that has a real human being that is in contact.
Now, there's a real dude who comes in here every once in a while, and he's retired military, and he comes in here every once in a while, and he hangs out, and he did say that he would sell me a lower sometime.
Hold on, so I don't understand why they're so hard to get. Why can't you just order them?
No, it doesn't
Through
work
the
like
shop?
that. It's like Nighthawk.
They're a
It's
contract.
worse than Night Court. It's worse than Nighthawk.
I don't know why you just don't tell Joe Bronco you won't want to make him source you one.
Civilian sales.
Because he'll say he's got a bunch, but he'll be like 10 grand.
You got to pay to ride the train.
He's like, got to pay the ride train, baby. Joe Bronco's coming here this weekend.
That's cool.
It's Dead Air Day. Dead Air Day on Saturday.
Dead air.
Dead Air. Yeah, we're so this Saturday we're doing one of our in-store events. It's Dead Air, and so we'll have all of the Dead Air suppressors, and we'll have Joe Bronco, whose real name is Kane Turney. Kane Turney is the Southeast regional sales manager for Dead Air, and he's a good buddy of ours.
He's the guy.
I love that guy.
He's the guy if he needs something. Kane knows everybody.
He does know everybody. He's been in the industry for, I think, how long? 30 years. And he's
wow.
super cool guy.
Not to age Kane, but
But he has been like something ridiculous. Like he knows everybody.
he sold nods to Tiger Woods.
He sold nods to Tiger Woods. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
He sold nods to
Tiger Woods wanted to sit on his back porch and watch yachts go by, so he bought nods from Kane.
Checks out.
Yeah, he bought the what are the 4
Quad
ones called?
tubes.
Yeah, quad
GP
tubes.
NVG 18s by L3 Harris.
Nerd.
And they were like, I think like what I think they were 60 grand.
42, I think, is MSRP.
Tiger got taxed.
Yeah, Kane taxed him. Yeah, but they won't be here. I wish he always wanted us to make a shirt for him. I still gotta get that done. He needs his own shirt.
Joey Bronco shirt.
Yeah, like
just gonna be like a mustache and a 4-leaf clover on the front of a Bronco.
something like that.
What's the story behind that name?
So it's his porn name.
He says that your porn name is your middle name and then the model of your first car.
Ah.
That would make mine. Well, since I use my middle name, mine would have to be Tommy Silverado, which would be my first name in my.
Mine would be
First car.
no middle name Lincoln.
That's pretty sad.
My name's Billy Camaro.
That's what I'm talking about.
Billy Camaro.
Billy Camaro. Billy Camaro.
It's not bad.
I like the ring to that. So, what's the one gun that you come in contact with, bought or shot, that has surprised you, and that you thought didn't think it would perform that way, and just kind of floored you? You're like, wow.
That's easy for me. It was my Staccato XC. I
don't think they're going to send you one, Dean.
I already have one. Don't send me one. I already paid for one. But that gun was just crazy. As soon as I shot it, it just ruined all other pistols. I got rid of all my Glocks except for my carry one. After that,
You got rid of all of them?
all of them except for my 43X.
Like, how good are you at it with, like, how far, like, how accurate is it? Like, what distance have you tried?
I haven't tried anything past 40 yards with it, but 40 yards is pretty accurate.
Like, how far is Kevin's from the gazebo to the targets, you know?
About 40.
Yeah,
40?
Yeah, I was about to say that's about 40.
And it's balls accurate at 40?
If you can shoot, yeah. The gun will always make you a slightly better shooter, I think. Coming from any Glock, Sig, or anything like that. I don't know why the tolerances are just so tight on it. It's just an amazing gun. I remember I didn't even have a red dot on this gun. When I first got it, I had to go to range and shoot it. I take it out of its case. I load it up. I'm happy. I was like, this thing better perform after spending X amount of dollars on it. I come up from a low ready and pull the trigger and hit 2 bullseyes right away. And I'm terrible at iron sights, so I was like, wow, this thing is worth it. And it just impressed me ever since. Even to this day, I still enjoy shooting it.
Why do you think the XC is so good, Pierce?
It's flat shooting. The way the compensator works is the length of the slide, the weight of the frame, like everything works together to keep it as flat shooting as it possibly can. I mean, it's hammer fired single action gun. That's pretty smooth.
Go grab one out of the case. It's right over there. So we can. I'm gonna have Dean go grab one, and so if just in case you don't know what an XC is, we'll show you what it.
Bottom middle.
Take your time.
Do the jingle jangle.
So this is the XC that Dean has a fascination with.
Yeah. My favorite handgun. Favorite handgun by far.
Yeah, it is. So does it recoil at all?
No, that gun can make anyone look like a amazing Instagram shooter, and like it looks like it just doesn't recoil. Like you said, it shoots flat.
Because our first Staccato rep said that it was really easy for her to sell them to old ladies because there's absolutely no recoil.
Yeah, you don't even have to grip it that hard. And
That's
it
anything
shoots
long
flat.
slide.
I'm sorry.
Anything long slides like that. The longer slide pistols are easier for older women to shoot because they absorb all the recoil. The slide weight and everything working together, they make it easier to shoot.
Yeah, but how do you get an older lady to buy that?
I don't know. I sold an old
Have a
lady
racket.
at 320
Yeah, I think you
Legion
can.
long slide.
Can't you do this?
You can air rack them.
Yeah.
Do that in the air and it's racked it. You want me to?
Try it. Yeah.
Go, Omer!
Not far enough.
Super easy.
Not far enough.
I mean, the number one thing I see with old ladies is that they have trouble racking the slide on a lot of things. That's why I feel like the Smith & Wesson Easy is like the number one, you know, if you're having trouble with it, go for it. But
We had two. I think we had two people try to sell us Smith & Wesson Easies today. I don't know what the fuck it is, but more people come trying to sell that gun back to me than any other gun. It's the worst. It's like the what was that Beretta back in the day, Pierce?
The Pico.
No, not the Pico, but what was the one Beretta that everybody took back and tried to sell them to us? And it was always in 40.
The PX4.
The PX4, remember that? It was like every day people would come in. I've got this Beretta PX4 in 40 cal.
It's like the Smith
the best.
SW40. Same thing.
Best handgun ever. Do you want to buy it from me?
$1-800.
What about you, Omer? What was the best? I mean, because you've shot a lot of guns. You might not own a lot of guns, but you shoot twice a week or is it once a week?
I shoot twice a week, every week.
Where do you go on Saturdays?
On Saturdays, if there's spots available, I go to Guncraft with Dean, and we kind of get our training in. If not, I'll either go to Manatee, or if I don't want to drive all the way up, I'll usually just go to Take Aim or shoot straight. Indoor ranges, I feel like don't really do it for me anymore, but when I'm going with like a buddy who's newer into shooting, it's a little easier.
Are there any guns out there that just surprised you like crazy?
Dean's XC. Dean's XC was...
You're on the XC too.
I mean, that gun's something else. It was one of the first times I'd gone shooting. Before then, I'd only shot Glocks and Sigs, and we went to Kevin's place. He hands me his XC, and I've been chasing that high ever since.
You, Pierce, what about you? Don't say the XC. No, if it's the XC, please go ahead.
It's not the XC. When we were really young in the Marine Corps, they had just released the IARs, and we had just gotten them to test, and we were all used to shooting 20-inch M16s. None of us really had M4s at the time, so when we got IARs, that was the most accurate rifle I had ever shot at the time, and I was a big rifle shooter growing up, so the Heckler, for sure.
Oh, the Heckler.
Yeah.
Which just so happens to be in front of you.
Yeah, I like that gun.
So when you shot it, what surprised you about it?
Well, it's definitely not an M16. And going from a 20-inch M16 that feels like my great-granddaddy's musket to this thing is quite the technology change.
I think you're really big on HK rifles.
Yeah, which is really surprising considering my stance on HK handguns.
Well, you think like it's pardon me, but you kind of think everything's stupid, but HK rifles sometimes.
I love HK rifles. They're all piston guns. The tolerances are all super tight. Like they're They're amazing rifles.
It's fucking
Through
heavy.
and through.
It's heavy.
To some people.
What does that mean, Pierce?
Not everybody needs a Q rifle to feel like the weight's right on those rifles.
Oh,
I just
throwing shots.
I was like, shots
He's throwing
fired.
shade.
You're hitting me where it hurts, Pierce.
He just throws a lot of. But seriously, like you and Andrew think those things are just the best.
Yeah, I have a lot of first world experience with that rifle. I'd stand behind that thing anytime for sure.
How many rounds do you think you have down range with it?
Thousands, less than 10,000.
But a lot. So a lot.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
was the optic you're using in the Marine Corps? That thing right there?
Yeah, it had a different RMR, but it was a 3.5 time ACOG, and that was the first time that I think the ACOG had a lot to do with it too, because we had the fixed 4 ACOGs with the Chevron reticle in them.
Yep.
And then they gave us the IARs had longer, clear 3.5s with horseshoe reticles, and it was a lot easier for me to use because I wasn't really the biggest fan of the ACOGs with the Chevron.
I love ACOGs.
Yeah, I like the horseshoe ones. I think they're a lot easier to read, and I like the dot in the middle of it instead of having to read the tree and the chevron and everything.
I like the crosshair.
I like that too, but that wasn't an option at the time.
Puppies are like running around. So my wife brought a puppy from home to the podcast, and every so often the puppy's like running this way and that way with the other dog.
Like a loaf of
Why
bread.
don't you buy one of the? Why don't you take one of the puppies?
Me?
Yeah.
I just moved into a new condo. I don't think they allow pets.
That's a good reason.
Well, I mean, it's like this big.
You want to explain that to my landlord?
We even like this. So we had 4 puppies, and one of the children took the puppy, but then one of the children who took the puppy just leaves the puppy at our house every day when
That's
he
not
goes to
taking a
work.
puppy.
And so we have all the puppies all the time. And there's another dog there.
It's a wolf.
So tell me a funny story of Shark Coast.
So
That was one of Luke's ideas.
I will tell you the ballad of 5G Man. So one day I'm working the counter and this gentleman walks in and he tells me, "What kind of gun would you buy to take down one of them 5G towers?" And I said, and I thought he was joking, so I'm laughing along with him, and I'm like, well, just going along with what I thought was a joke, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna be shooting at metal, I'd like something big. So I showed him a Danny 308, the DD5, and I was like, this is what I would personally get if I was taking out 5G towers. Whole time I think he's joking. And I show it to him, I explain to him why I like it, I explain to him the wonders of 308, and he's like, awesome, I'll take it. And I was like, great, good sale. So I start bringing over the paperwork, and he's talking a little bit more, and the more he talks, the more I realize he's not joking at all. And he's like, so yeah, all them immigrants they're bringing him, they're chipping them at the border, and one day they're gonna put the activation signal through the 5G towers and weaponize them all. They're gonna take over our military. And the more he speaks, I'm like, this dude's he's thought of this a lot for it to be a joke. So I'm starting to get a little bit uncomfortable with the sale. And he's like, yeah, as soon as shit pops off, I'm going and I'm taking out all them 5G towers with this thing. I'm like, oh.
What's a 5G tower?
Is
it just a cell phone tower?
It's the cell phone
How the
towers.
fuck are you gonna shoot a cell phone
palm
tower?
trees. Omar said he could do it with a 308. That guy had no clue what he was talking about. Crazy as the day is long. Came in here and seriously wanted to know what the best weapon in here to take out a 5G tower. And Omar, in all his infinite wisdom, didn't say the wooden RPG. And
That'd be awesome. You sell the wooden RPG. That's
I'll take it.
So he fills out his 4473. We run his background
Shouldn't let
check.
it get that far.
While we're waiting on it, he's still talking to me about all of his plans about when the
Where was
plan.
your adult this whole time?
Oh, I've been talking to adults, and they were like, "What's he buying? Danny? Okay, yeah, let's see how it turns out." Background check disapproved.
That's not how this works.
Background check comes back disapproved,
No shit.
and
yeah.
we're like, "All right." So yeah, I'm glad I don't have to go through with the sale anymore, whatnot. We explained to the guy that he can't buy a gun. He's like, "Man, the feds, they know that I know."
It definitely didn't have anything to do with past crimes or anything
Yeah.
like that.
So 5G man leaves. I'm like, amazing story. That's the end of it. A couple days goes by, and this little lady comes in, and this little lady is like, "Hi, I'd like to buy Denial defense
Denial.
DD5. That sounds familiar. So I'm like, yeah, sure. And I get one of the salesmen to start showing her the DD5. And I go out and I take a look out the window and look outside. And in the parking lot, in his car, is
The
5G man.
guy.
5G man is waiting there outside in the parking lot in his car.
For the folks at home, that's a straw sale.
That is a straw sale. So I go, okay, this is what this is. I explain what's going on. We're telling her, like, oh, your background check's taking a while. Just wait around, do this. The lady gets tired of waiting. So she goes outside and she says, I'll come back another day when my background check's approved. Her background check's been approved. Eventually, we ended up printing out this a picture of 5G Man and putting it up on the wall saying, do not sell 5G Man. And that poster stayed up for like a year.
Yes.
It's great.
5G man.
5G Man.
What about you, Pierce?
I've got one.
Okay.
This I did my homework on.
Really?
Yep. Pass that over to Will for me.
So what you thought making the internet guy dress up like a shark?
Yeah, we used to get cars towed all the time, and we used to have a shark suit, and we used to have new guys. So those three things go together like peanut butter and jelly. And yeah, the new guy used to have to get in the shark suit and go out there and direct traffic. And he really wanted to vape at the time, and the fins don't have any fingers, so he couldn't vape. So I duct taped his vape to his hand.
Did it work, you think?
Oh yeah, he stayed out there all day.
And do you have no funny stories?
I mean,
Is your life just back there miserable? Fucking
No, it's not. This was. I don't think it's anything like.
Most of the things that Dean listens to that's probably pretty funny is me and Nate just going back and forth about stuff that we're arguing about. I think is mostly what Dean
Pretty
hears.
much. Other than that, I'm just on the computer.
So Luke had this story about one of our guys that got fired one time, and so Luke is going over to production, and this long-term employee who got fired is walking out of the area, the disassembly area, and he's kind of like the walk of shame, and then Luke just starts clapping because he thinks he's like going on vacation because he's supposed to go on vacation that day, and he's clapping at the guy. Just, all right, let's hear it. Real good. Everybody's proud of you, buddy. And everybody's looking at the guy shocked, that Luke would say something so foul to the guy. And the guy just like puts his head down and walks out, and he got fired that day.
Some people make it, some people don't.
Absolutely. You guys remember the dojo guy?
I do remember him.
I remember that.
So even for that story, I wasn't even in the shop.
But we were doing it happened real time though.
Yeah, I think we were still open, so I was. At my
No. He was getting on us. He was attacking us during a live feed.
Really?
Yeah, he was saying, like, we had this guy, so a guy bought a custom Glock from us, and he non-approvaled, and we're like, you can't have it, and he was just trying to bully us into making him give it to him, making us give him the gun.
That'll work.
And he was like, I'm going to take you to the dojo and kick your fucking ass. So we turned his gun, like, it's called the dojo now. It's the bright green Glock, and it was kind of ugly. But that was one of the stories of the funniness.
Last week there was a random guy parked in the parking lot, and you walked up to him on your property and asked him what he was doing, and he asked you, "What, are you writing a fucking book?"
Yeah, that's a good one.
Really?
Yeah, right out here. He was parked in between the two light poles behind Will's parking spot after we closed. Nobody else in the parking lot, and he's like right in front of Will's van, just parked there all sideways, not in a parking spot or nothing. Will walks up like, "Hey man, what's going on? What, are you writing a book?"
When this building was still production, we had a homeless guy in the middle of the night. We caught on camera.
Yeah, what about that one, Dean? That's not funny.
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
He showed up in the middle of the night, took a shit in our parking lot, then stole an ashtray. Who steals an ashtray?
No, that's not what happened.
That's a different one. It's
the mad shitter.
Oh, it's happened multiple times.
No, well, so this homeless guy, Dean came out of internet sales across the street, and there was this homeless guy like taking a shit. And Dean's like, "What are you doing? You just can't take a shit." And then like,
he asked me, "Do you want to?
We have a
help
picture of
wipe?"
it.
Yeah, I made Nate clean up the poop.
Yeah, then that's another time he came back. No, that's why he's the mad shitter. His name's
Phantom
John.
shitter.
You know his name.
Yeah, apparently he does it everywhere.
You are on a first name basis with a man who
don't
takes
know.
shits in your parking
No,
lot.
someone came in. Oh yeah, that's John. He's this homeless guy, and he'll just take a shit and take out like your. So the the first
Show Lori the picture.
the first time that
He's like, here, have some shit.
no, so the first time
That's just John.
he appeared at the Shark Coast was Dean came out of the building and there's this homeless guy like taking a shit. Was he taking a shit in the parking lot?
He was shitting right outside our back door with a Corona in his hand. Squatted down. I walked up. It's like a little half wall, so I couldn't see him until I got close. Then I realized what he was doing.
Did you smell him first?
No, he didn't smell it. I said, "What are you doing?" And he goes, he looks at me and goes, "Do you want to help me wipe?" And it was just so disrespectful. I just got mad and I wanted to fuck him up. So we got in an argument. He's trying to run away from me with his pants around his knees, and the shit is still running down his leg. And he runs over at the church next to us, and he just runs away. And he's still yelling obscenities back at me as I'm standing there. And then he started to come back. And I was.
And you
outside
got
the
really
door.
mad, like you're gonna fight him.
Yeah, he was real disrespectful.
I thought he was talking to my guy all wrong.
Yeah.
And then about a week later, he came back, and like there was, we found like a pile of shit clothes.
That's that picture. I made Nick clean it up.
That's
Yeah.
the picture of we found a pile of shit clothes in the back, and then we got on the camera, and John the mad shitter of Sarasota, John the mad shitter of Sarasota, like came and took over our shack in the back. Like we have a little shed, and he must have took a shit in the shed and then shit all over his clothes, and then he threw them in the parking lot, and then just got escaped.
Yeah, he had white pants on when I caught him shitting over at the internet building.
We put
The
a
dojo guy.
we put a video up of it on Facebook and said, "Do you know who this guy is?" And you know we put a reward for him.
He's the Phantom shitter.
No, he's the Phantom shitter John of Sarasota.
Haven't seen him in a while though.
He probably died.
Oh, maybe.
You know, you can't
Maybe he sold
Go
that
around
ashtray.
shitting on people's property. And
He's just out here shitting in the street, man. He's a street shitter.
I've caught many homeless people in like just doing crazy shit. Like I caught like a two kids sleeping at one of the buildings, and I've caught people in the back. Like I think there was one dude living in the back, you know, using our power. And then I had to have Wyatt come over and close the power sources, and it's never fun.
We were in Indianapolis, and I walked out of a bar to take a phone call, and there was a guy behind a generator box playing with himself.
You know, that happens a lot.
I was trying to talk on the phone, and I was just kicking my boots at him, like, get out of here. Get out of here. God forbid a guy have hobbies, though, you know?
I think the funniest thing I've ever seen was like I saw our compliance guy like get caught in old man snares. Do you know what old man snare is?
No.
So it's the black like zip tie looking things that go around the pallets that you have to like pull, and then they come across. Like he'll get them wrapped around his feet or like the wheels in his chair, and it's just game over because he's too old. Like they've got like age requirements, and then everybody gets around him. Like when I find a bunch of them, I'll just go and encircle his chair in them like a little
Not
trap.
good. So old man snares. So big boxes, like particularly from Sports South back in the day, they got rid of them, which I think is because people like would fall in these damn things. But they were like almost rubber bands, but just hard plastic around a box. And if you cut them, they'd be fine, you know, because you can't get caught up in them. But like a lot of times, people just pull them off and then throw them. And then one time, like our compliance guy Chris was just like making a funny face and got right caught up in it and fucking face planted right.
oh, poor Chris.
He's like, duh.
Old man snare.
I still laugh about it this day. I can see his face. Just, So yeah, that and the mad shitter.
Oh man.
Shitter.
How's hunting going, Pierce?
It's been raining a lot.
You can't hunt in the rain,
It's kind of wet.
obviously. Yeah. Have you not been going?
No, I haven't been. I need to go.
You're not going tonight, or
Oh, I'm gonna call him after I leave here and harass the shit out of him until I end up in the woods. What's the worst that happens?
what's your favorite thing hunting? Is it deer, coyote, wild boar? What do you like the most?
Ducks.
Ducks.
Yeah.
What is the whole thing of duck hunting?
It's a lot more laid back than just like deer hunting's just sitting in a tree hoping that a deer walks by. Unless you spend a lot of time like on like quality land management and deer management and stuff like that. Unless you're able to go all the time to where you're deer hunting and prepping everything and getting it so you know like their cycles and everything. Other than that, it's just sitting somewhere good and hoping they walk by. Ducks is just kind of hanging out with your buddies over a field of decoys, and then you call them in or they fly by near a flyway or something like that, and then you call them in and shoot them, or you don't. Either way, it's still better than doing anything else.
Do you have aspirations to get a duck gun or not a duck gun? Fucking dog.
I'm not really home enough for a bird dog right now.
Yeah, what's the thing with bird dogs? Like, I don't like. I want one.
They
I don't hunt
the
birds.
training isn't as the training isn't as probably, I don't know what the hours of training to go into like a bird dog and everything is, but to buy like finished bird dogs is kind of the equivalent of buying finished shepherds.
Really?
Yep. Money wise.
Oh, I just want one.
How much is that?
A lot.
Like what? 8 grand, 10 grand?
They're more than that.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah. It's an investment. You got to hunt all the time to buy a finished bird dog, or you have to try to train it yourself. And I don't have the time or the resources for either of those right now.
Tucker Carlson talks a lot about his dogs.
Are they German short hair pointers?
I have no idea. He never shows them. He talks about his dogs all the time, and I'm just, man, I want a duck dog. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I can
just
probably,
to have it.
maybe I can get it to fetch 4.473 forms.
That's the last thing. It needs another dog.
No, I've got 9 right now. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago you were saying you have too many dogs, and you're like, I want another dog.
I would like no, I would like some type of. They're so smart, and they listen.
Yeah.
Like bird dogs listen to you. Like these little puppies, they don't listen.
It goes back to the time you can put into it. So the to get a bird dog or any dog to do actual work, it takes hours and hours and hours and hours of training. Like just like anything else we talk about, like to get a bird dog to where it can actually like hunt and work, listen, keep its focused, know what you're doing. Like it takes a long time, and the person has to get trained for it too. So like it's just like anything else with the dogs, like with the like what Eric does, stuff like that. I mean, it's all the same thing. It's just a different focus on what they're being trained to do.
So what you're basically telling me is I have no hope, and I should just get it out of my
What I'm
mind.
telling you is that I don't think now's the appropriate time for you to get another dog.
I like dogs though.
Let the little ones go to college first.
If I could get, I would like a German, or not, I would like another German Shepherd. I would like a Malinois. I would like a pit bull. I would like one of those little pit bulls. I would like a Frenchie. I'm not kidding. I would like to get all those dogs.
Yeah, I want a Frenchie and a little pit bull too.
Fuck yeah, like
Yeah.
those little miniature bully dogs.
Yeah.
I've got a guy.
I gotta get my son-in-law raises or makes them. He breeds them.
I was talking about Big Ed.
Oh no, I got a guy there too. Yeah, I know Big Ed. He would let us have one. What do you guys think? Like dot versus no dot on a handgun.
Dot.
Easy
Yeah.
the future.
Dot.
Just makes you better.
It opens up your field of view.
Can you shoot? Can you shoot with just your irons, Dean?
No. I don't like focusing that front sight post and everything else being slightly blurry.
Were you decent
Just-
with iron sights before you got a dot?
No, because the time I got my first pistol, I was shooting at iron sights for about maybe 4 weeks, and I came back in here and brought a dot. I'm doing it. But when I first put the dot on, it was awful.
I shot
hated it.
I shot for years with not a dot, and I always sucked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I was
hard.
never good. Like I remember shooting with Lori and just being embarrassed.
That's handguns for you, man.
yeah, and then but when I got my first handgun with a red dot, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, see, at first I didn't like the dot, but after you learn to use it, it's just way easier, way easier.
What about you, Omer?
100%. I think dots are the future. I think the only reason they weren't, there used to be a time where it was considered stupid to put a dot in a pistol, but that's just because dot technology hadn't gone as far as it does now. Now you can spend $200, get a Holosun that's going to work every time, and it just makes everything easier. You keep both of your eyes open, you look at what you're shooting at. You don't have to front side focus, like you said. You don't have to tunnel yourself, and you don't have to close an eye. Even I've heard the argument that like, oh yeah, I put dots on my range pistols, but I don't put them on my carry guns, which I understand if you're just looking at
Counterintuitive.
if you're looking at it from a point of like, oh, I won't need the dot if I'm going to be shooting someone in a self-defense situation. I understand that, but overall, the dot just makes you better.
The Wilson guys.
Anybody that says they'll do that drives me nuts.
Have you seen the videos from Wilson Combat?
No.
Oh yeah,
Can we take a step back for a second? So if you're saying that on your range gun you shoot dots all the time, and then every day you get up and put your pants on one leg at a time and shove a gun in your pants that does not have a dot on it, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because then you're shooting unless you're shooting your carry gun at the same pace and the same regularity and everything that you're shooting those range guns with dots, you're training yourself for something entirely different than what you're carrying a gun for.
I just know that Wilson Combat puts out videos of angry old white guys telling you not to use a dot on your concealed
They sell a lot of guns without red dot cuts too, or they make a lot of guns without red dot cuts.
Still to this day?
Still to this day.
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah, they're right there.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's funny. Like it's I understand. I mean, but
Guns are like toilet seats. One for every ass.
so when I got I've had my FFL since 2012, 2011, and there was a time where there was no dots. Like when guns came out, like when the 43X MOS came out, it was a really big deal. And when the 365 came out with red dot cut, it was a really big deal. But there was, for years there were no dots. I remember the first time I saw one.
We had to cut them.
Yeah, we cut them. But the first time I saw one, there was this guy. He works for Hollison now. His name is Scott, and he had one. And he was carrying it all proud. And he found a machinist to do the RMR cut on his Glock 19. And I saw it, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck is that, man? And I actually had something before that hooked into the rail, and then it went over, and you couldn't fucking hit shit with it anyway, but it was, and then you could cut them, and then we got a CNC machine, and it took off. But now it's like it's what everybody's doing.
I think in the near future we're going to start seeing guns built around it, because right now the whole cutting your slide to put an optic on it, that's how we've adapted the guns we have to take dots. But I think what we're going to be seeing in the future is guns built around the idea of having a dot on it. So basically one that won't be moving back with your slide. Right now it's kind of just unavoidable. If you put a frame mounted optic on it, then you can't holster it. It defeats the purpose of the handgun. You can't conceal it. But with the way that we mount dots on pistols now, it's more violent, your dot on an AR doesn't move. Your dot on most guns don't move, so they don't have to be built a certain way. Handgun red dots, they probably take the most abuse because it's going back with your slide every time. I think we're going to start seeing designs that, like the Logo Alien, for example, would be like the one I point at right now. It's extremely expensive and not what I think the finished product is going to be. But basically where the top part of your slide stays stationary and maybe the sides of the slide move.
Have you guys seen that, the Alien?
I think I have, I don't remember it.
Videos, no, I haven't seen one in person.
I had a guy come in and it's one of Pierce's favorite customers, and he came in and brought it and said, "Oh, look, I have the." I'm like, "Oh, cool, It's,
Yeah, he called 2 weeks ago trying to get you to buy it.
He called 2 weeks ago and tried to get us to buy it. Like, no way, man. How much is it? Like $8,000?
I think it's like 6.
I didn't ask him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like I think it's 8, but the guys who guard Zelensky carry them.
Yeah. The alien
money to burn.
The Alien's like a concept gun. The whole idea being super low bore axis and your dot doesn't move. So it's the sides of the slide that move. The whole point is that the barrel's on the bottom, kind of like a Rhino is.
Yeah.
And it's so funky. It's so complicated. It's not what I imagine when I think of a finished product. But for the concept of the modern handgun where you don't have a frame mounted optic, but your red dot does not move, I think that's kind of the future.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
I think we're going to start seeing that more and more.
So does this gun look
TX-22
ugly?
compact.
It looks cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It looks like a space gun. They call it the Alien for a reason.
Well, obviously, it probably wasn't that good of a gun if he's trying to sell it after a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Concept guns usually go that way, where it's the first to kind of attempt that style, there's a lot of blemish.
So if it's concept, how did he get a hold of one?
I mean, it's a
Money.
It's a finished product that they sell. I'm saying concept gun more in the way of,
Okay.
it's a super expensive, super overcomplicated way of achieving something that later on could be simplified to put into the hands of the everyday person.
Mm-hmm.
So should we sell, like when people come in buying handguns for the first time, should we just direct them to a gun with a red dot on it, you think?
I personally think so, yeah. I learned how to shoot pistols with a red dot.
It's so much money though, like in one hit.
Not really.
I mean, we're doing Hellcat packages right now that come with red dots, 5 mags, and a range bag for $550. So
yeah, but that's not an everyday occurrence. It's just one deal that we got. Like you can't do that all the time.
Like the 407K from Holosun, it's $200. $225 maybe. That is cheap for what you're getting. I've had that thing on my gun since the day I bought it.
what's on mine too.
Yeah, it's amazing. Mine's a 507K, so it's got a smaller dot, so it's a little more expensive, but it's the exact same dot outside of that. And it works great. It works really well.
I find it still hard to, when you have people who are first-time buyers coming in and like trying to, especially if they've got like the advisor with them, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Trying to like, hey, you should buy, Glock 43X with a red dot on it as your first gun.
Or G2C.
Surprisingly, like remember like Taurus is dying. Like,
well, no, I was saying the advisor will recommend something off the chain, like.
No, but you usually get it's people will come in with the advisor, and then you never see the advisor saying you should start with a gun with a red dot. They're always like, you start something
Like a 442.
No, and people don't. You don't see that very often, but you do see like 365s or Glock 43Xs or 19s. But nobody rarely says by the way, why don't we just get a dot for you? Do you think it'd be better just to try to push the person to a dot?
Yes,
100%.
Like saying, hey, like why don't we get this?
We're already pushing MOSs on them.
The thing it would be really nice if Glock included the MOS plate with the Glock 43X. They don't.
Yeah.
So then you have to put an extra
$30, $50, $70, depending on where you get it from.
Yeah, so now you're at 2 plus the extra 30, 40 on top of the 500-ish for the Glock.
They don't need to do that. They just need to make it direct mount. They need to stop trying to sell their plates.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, an RMSC cut.
Everybody else cuts everything RMSC. Everything in that category is
Except
cut
what?
RMSC. Yep. Same with the MOS cuts.
So would
They
you
won't
recommend?
do it for RMR. They won't do it for anything. So I mean, they want their guns to be their own mounting system that nobody makes a dot for.
I noticed your posse all have macros.
My posse?
Yeah, like the
Production
little
guys?
Yeah, the little fuzzy guys. They all have macros.
Hi ho.
The production guys like macros.
They all have. Why do they all like macros, not the 43X?
They were like that when we got them.
It's a 50-50 split. But
You mean they came liking macros?
Those guys had those guns when I got them. I found those guys and they already had those macros.
What, you found them like in a brothel? Like what do you mean?
Well, I found the one with the one that I'm talking about that carries a macro every day. I found him wandering around the gun shows. He already had his macro.
Oh, not him. No, I'm not. That's not. He's not really part of Omar's posse. Like
who are you talking about when you say Omar's posse?
Oh, I know who he's talking about.
The guys you shoot with.
every time I go shooting and there's like a group of young guys, youngsters, all shooting with you. Some are fuzzy, some are not. They all have macros.
The whippersnappers.
I try not to figure out who's who, but I just noticed that everybody's shooting macros.
Anyways,
I'm sorry. So no, is it? Tell me, I'm like, are people getting rid of the 43X or and they're moving to macros?
No.
Half of them
Half and half.
don't like locks. There's a very large population of the gun owner community that are just like, I don't like locks.
Oh,
I don't know
boy.
what. Half of them say it's the grip angle. The other half says, oh, it's just, I don't like locks. There's no reason I don't like the way they shoot. I don't like the way they feel in my hand. I don't like it's always excuses. I'm a big Glock supremacist personally. But the other half, I mean, you get 2 extra round. You get a 17-round mag out of the box. You don't have to buy Shield or Palmetto State ones. It's direct cut for the RMSC, so you can plop your red dot on there without needing a plate. And the trigger out of the box is better. That's usually what it boils down to.
So there is like a pilgrimage, or there is like a shift
Oh, yeah.
to the macro.
I mean, Yeah, I would say so. Just because of how many people are out there that are anti-Glock, whether it's because it's too popular.
Whoa.
I think a lot.
There's people that are anti-Glock?
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of them.
they're entitled to that opinion, and we're entitled to think they're wrong.
Exactly. There's a lot of people out there
I
who
live in a bubble.
they either don't like Glock because of number one thing I hear is grip angle. I don't like the grip angle of Glock, which I think is stupid. I think this is the superior grip angle, but that's just me. It's personal preference.
That's been around since Gen 3, though. Those people are riding old waves.
Yeah, the Glocks have a more aggressive grip angle, so you kind of have to throw out your thumb more.
But it's a better handgun.
Yes.
I think so.
It's a better handgun.
You must be a Glock shooter.
No, I shoot Staccatos, but
No, that's what the SIG guy said to me when I shot the macro for the first time.
Yeah. He gripped it all like a Glock, and he was missing. And then the SIG guy was like, it's not a Glock, right?
That's what my first trainer told
Yeah, I
me.
wouldn't have missed
with my
it.
Staccato. He's like, you come from Glocks, don't you? And I was like, yeah, how do you know? And he goes, because of your grip. Yeah. And he's like, that's why you're missing with this gun right
But
now.
all right, so
Forcing the gun
Glock
around.
makes a better handgun.
I believe so, yes.
I mean, I thought it just isn't it. It's dogma. Like
I
with
really
Glock.
like the trigger safety aspect of the Glocks over the trigger bar safety thing that's in the fire control unit. I trust it a lot more.
So all right, so probably because I'm old. So to me, knowledge, like just knowing that the Glock handgun, like the Glock safe action system, the Glock is a better handgun than any SIG. Like it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just known.
That is my opinion.
But so that
There's a lot of people that disagree.
There's a lot of people that disagree and think that it's just not as good.
Yes. I think
Like fucking who?
most of
There's a
them
lot of
just don't
people,
like Glock because it's popular. I think a lot of them genuinely just don't even bother shooting it. They just put it in their hands and go, oh, I got to twist my hand more. I don't like the grip angle of the Glock.
It's not as accurate as a macro.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on.
Oh, if you don't, you've got to know how to shoot a Glock. But if you're using a red dot, it's fucking dot.
Well, yeah, that's not the gun being more or less accurate, though. That's you not knowing how to shoot a Glock. You have to shoot a Glock with a grip angle that's more aggressive than virtually any other handgun out there. And if you can make that distinction and be like, oh, maybe I should just twist my wrist a little bit more, you will be a better shooter with a Glock, in my opinion. I think the uncomfortable grip angle that people dislike Glocks for is what makes them shoot better.
I can outshoot the entire macro posse with my 42 right-handed.
That's a bold statement, dude.
I stated it.
Okay, we could have a dance off.
Got your dancing shoes on?
I'm not fucking. I'm not saying I can outshoot you, but I'm just saying that's a. So you're 42.
The 42.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, the 42 is the easiest Glock to shoot in the world.
I'll put like a purse of money up. If they can beat you, if you, one-handed 42, you outshoot
I didn't say
the Omer.
one-handed.
What?
I didn't say one-handed.
Yeah, you did.
I said right-handed.
Right-handed. Oh, so
He's left-handed, yeah.
okay. So we should make a video. We could do Pierce's challenge.
Have you shot a macro?
I have not.
Yes, I have.
They shoot better than the 365. They shoot nice. For as small as the gun is with its width, like as narrow as that gun is and as big as the slide is, that's a good design. It's better than the 365, light years ahead of it. But it's still not the 43X.
So let's make it official. Josh and JJ are the two that I know of that carry a macro. I don't know who the other ones you're referring to are, but
They both carry macros.
yes. Steven also. Steven also does.
That's who I was talking about.
All of them have macros.
So if you can outshoot JJ, Josh, and Steven with their macros, with your 42,
Right-handed.
right-handed, big pile of money on the table from the big guy, what do you have to offer?
Kind of small.
How much is the money?
I don't know.
I was just talking shit. I'll do it then.
I mean, they're gonna hear it. They're all gonna come over here.
Right.
There's gonna be a line of production guys coming on. Hi, we heard that there's a competition between us and Pierce. Where is he? When
Worst comes to worst,
I
I'll
hear there's a
double it
big
nothing and we'll
thing of
go
money
rifles.
involved.
Winner gets an extra bathroom break.
I'll sit there in my pee pants and outshoot them.
There's no way, dude. There's no way. They'll stomp you.
You don't think he can do it?
Remember when we talked about when somebody says they want to
Right-handed?
fight? If somebody says they want to fight, you either got to act like you're going to fight enough to juke them out, or you got to fight them. There's no other way to do it. You know, remember when you said, "Oh yeah, if you got any problems, Pierce will fight you," and I said, "Oh yeah, I'll fight every single one of you guys." You either have to do it, or be good enough that they won't want to do it.
Now, brawling is different though. Yeah, I'm sure you could brawl and beat the Omar posse, but this is shooting. They shoot twice a week.
One at a time or in waves?
Are they good?
They shoot
Omar?
more than Pierce does.
They ding
Are they
steel.
good?
They ding steel. Like I watch them. They ding steel and
Yeah,
they
but
all.
still misleading.
JJ is better drawing from concealment than I am. He's
No.
yes.
Really?
Yeah, JJ's
Oh, he's
really
like concealment.
Yeah, JJ is really good at drawing from concealment.
Might have got myself into something here.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. No.
I think JJ would smoke you.
What's the worst that happens?
But here you shoot good with either hand, don't you?
Oh, I shoot with either hand.
Well, didn't you say in the military you had to shoot?
He's
right-handed?
ambidextrous.
I think it was amphibious.
I think it'd be
was
good.
The word the Marine Corps uses is amphibious.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, with rifles, I'm 100% confident about it, but I made a bold statement, so now I've got to
It
back it
was,
up with the handguns.
A Glock 42
You should change it
versus
to a
the
43.
fuzzy. We also got to come up with a name of your posse.
My
The Bird
posse
Man.
is your
what I was
employees.
gonna
You
say.
understand that?
No, you have your little friends that come along too.
I have
Oh,
Sean.
Then there's the other fuzzy guy that comes.
The other fuzzy guy was my roommate. I brought out to shoot once. He's not.
Did you guys break up?
No, he's my roommate, but he's not a shooter. He wanted to see what it's like to shoot a gun, so I had him shoot my guns. But no, the Omar posse you speak of is your production staff, plus my buddy Sean, who used to be in your production staff.
Oh,
Are you downplaying your posse right now?
he's downplaying his posse.
I wouldn't stand for that if I
I
was.
mean, do you guys have your own Discord channel?
Yeah.
I need the answer to that. I wasn't going
Really?
We play Minecraft.
That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, we play. video
Okay,
games.
so I'll put up.
God, now I'm actually going to have to do this.
I'll put up
It sounds
a.
like it.
I'll do $200.
$200.
$200.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you better go practice, homie.
Yeah, so you're gonna outshoot JJ.
It doesn't matter. You can make. You can. They can all come.
They can all come.
They can all come.
I like this one.
Like what does Christos carry?
Christos carries his 19x.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He carries a big gun.
Every time I go out there, it's probably I'm fucking old and I just all I remember is fucking fuzzy, patchy hair and people shooting macros. Everybody's got a macro.
Super
Some
sad.
some are the real macro with the comp, and then others are not, and then everybody's drawing just like you and shooting. And it's shocking because like why don't they all, because they all, like, you're the king of the Omar posse, like why don't they all have the 43Xs?
I tried. I've tried. They won't. For them, what they care about is large capacity, out of the box, supported by the OEM manufacturer. They care about a good trigger, and they care about price point.
They're racist against Glocks.
They're racist against Glocks. That's a better way to put it, yeah. But macro out of the box compared to a 43X out of the box comes with more features, and they like that. You got to put
$200 more.
I say, yeah, it costs a lot.
Oh, it's because they're cheap.
No, the gun's $200. The macro's $200 more than the 43X.
Yeah, but you get 17 round mag, OEM.
At what cost? It's a 6 hour.
Yeah, Pierce's anti Sig Sauer compared to Glock. Oh, see, you're
And they're
getting
handguns.
you're getting old too.
It's the handgun.
That's
thing.
what it is. You're fucking getting old too. Oh, there it is.
One day at a time.
Yeah, that you're older, and you're part of the old Glock generation.
Yeah, but like their problems with the grip angle and the Glock and everything, that's the same as like people going finger grooves or no finger grooves. It's all goes back to the Gen 3s, and most of these guys weren't even old enough to own firearms when the Gen 3s were being mass produced like that. So I mean, we all came off Glock 19s. Glock 19 used to be the most popular thing in the world. Like Nate's older, Nate's a Glock 19 guy. Like all these older guys, they would carry Glock 19s to the end of the earth. Like that's how all of these people are. And then when they came out with the 43X, it just fit better.
and they would last till the end of the earth, unlike
100%.
another
And
handgun I
there's
can think of.
Going to be mags everywhere.
I like my 19. Not as accurate as my Staccato, of course, but
Is the gun less accurate, or are you?
I'm not good with handguns.
Staccatos are different.
Yeah, I'm not
Staccatos are different.
Yeah, the gun's less accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm okay.
I was still on the Sig heat. Sorry.
Yeah. And
All right.
the Omar posse.
So $200, you have to outshoot whoever wants to claim to be part of the Omar posse, right-handed with the 42 versus their macros.
They have their own macros.
Whatever else they want to bring.
Well, no, that's
Like
not
I would
fair to
even
him.
throw Christos in. He's gonna feel bummed out that he's not part of it.
But they can't shoot whatever they want. That's not fair for peers.
Of course it is.
They shoot whatever they want. They got to shoot offhand too.
No, that's not the. You boldly stated I can outshoot that whole
Macros.
posse. Okay, fine, macros. I'll start handing them out. Free macros for everybody.
Just don't drop them.
But if Pierce beats them, they all got to pay for them.
Absolutely.
I think you can do it, Pierce.
Me too.
Have you done any more research on the Spectre 9 from Silencer Co?
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It's 3 ounces.
Is it flow through, even though we can't say flow through?
I don't think so. I mean,
I'm trying to figure that out.
no. No, it's just a really light titanium pistol can, which is nice because Silencer Co's pistol cans are either super long, super heavy, except for like the 9K, but that's kind of like in between. That's a thicker can.
Omar, what do you think of flow through? And what do you think of flow through, Dean?
What is flow through? I don't know what that is.
Flow through is, there's different ways of achieving it, but it's basically getting a majority of the gases to go out the
Out
front,
the front. Okay.
downrange.
Oh,
so
I think that's better.
you breathe in less toxic gases. It's going to have more flash and it's going to be less quiet. So I think it's very, not only is it job dependent, but it's also caliber dependent. Like for 5.56, I think flow throughs are great because with 5.56, you're not going to get it quiet anyways. Might as well not hit yourself in the face with gas every time you pull the trigger.
How much gas are you getting with the Q?
None. It's a very low back pressure can.
Okay.
There's a difference between flow through and low back pressure, but obviously a Hux would be even less than that. But I like what Kevin says, where it's like, hey, if I put holes in the front of my can, it would be flow through as well. That's not what it's for, though. They make their cans to be quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah. If you're shooting a 5.56 and you aren't intending to use it under night vision, I would say a flow through is the best choice for you because it's going to make it way more enjoyable to shoot. It's going to quiet it down enough to where it's not a nuisance, and it's
Why wouldn't you do it with night vision?
too much flash compared to a traditional can.
Ah.
Flash is a big thing. Like that's why I also don't think.
And that's going to fuck with the nods.
Yeah, like Qs. I love Qs, as you know, but they spark. They're 100% titanium cans, so when you shoot, you get some spark that goes down the range.
Yeah, you do.
That's not what you want. So like an RC2, I'd rather have strictly for night vision use. But like easy comparison would be the RC2 versus the RC3. RC3 is going to be more enjoyable to shoot if you're shooting at the range. If you're a consumer and you want a can that's going to make it not a nuisance, not get dirty as fast, not hit you in the face with gas every time you pull the trigger, you want to flow through. But for 300 blackout, for example, I would say do not get a flow through. Defeats the whole purpose of the round. That round can get quiet, and you are actively making the choice to make it not as quiet as it can get by putting holes in your can.
How
Plus,
much more
the 300
decibels are we
blackout
talking?
wants gas.
What did you say, Dean?
How many more decibels are we talking if it's flow through? Is it get that
significant.
much loud?
15 or 20.
Depends on the can, obviously. Depends on
Yeah.
who's making it, what method they're
It's
using.
like an average. He said 15, 20. That is pretty loud.
That's a ballpark.
Yeah.
Our gunsmith, who will not be named, went to a AR course with Sons of Liberty Gunworks, and Sons of Liberty said that the Huxwork is the best can to be used with the AR-15 platform.
Yeah, on 5.56, I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot. It takes all the recoil out of it. The flow through on the Hux, on the even especially on the shorter barrels, it takes all the recoil out of it. It's got a little bit of a little fart cloud. But
Yeah,
other than that,
mind
it's not
blowing,
too
right,
bad.
Dean?
It is.
Yeah, like they said, the Hux, it's the best,
Yeah.
and that's what you should use.
I agree.
That it helps the longevity of the rifle. It helps with the accuracy. I can tell you, like, I'm getting, since the whole flow through revolution has started, like I'm really getting cognizant of gas getting in my face. Like when I was shooting my TP9 the other day with nods, like I got boom, and I was like, oh, man, I don't like that.
That has a lot to do with the ammo and the caliber, and you've got a lot going on there with the TP9 and the full auto and stuff like that. Like that gun's gonna smoke anyways. My Strybog does that.
No, I mean it smokes a lot. Like the TP9 can is a little gassy.
What sucks is you can't put a Hux on your TP9.
No, I
It
can't.
only takes a TP9 can.
Way to go, B&T.
No, I think there's something like they're making a mount for Dead Air, or Mike Pappas is trying to make a mount for Wolfman or something.
I think Eco Machine makes an adapter.
The Wolfman, the Mojave is, you can't say flow through. Hux is the only people who are allowed to say flow, but the Mojave is flow through.
Yeah.
Low back pressure.
Low back pressure, but yeah, the Mojave is, and I have that on my MP5.
That's a quiet pistol can. Man, that's probably the quietest pistol can that we've tried, realistically.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you from me and my buddies. from
Were you shooting it like so? You tell them the Mojave story. So
one of my buddies triple tap. So he shot 3 rounds in quick succession with a Mojave probably 4 or 5 feet from me, and it was quiet on a Staccato. It was really quiet. I didn't even know he was going to shoot, and normally pistols going off next to me isn't my favorite thing.
I thought that you shot in the field across the way, and they couldn't hear it.
That was my Ghost.
Oh, that was your Ghost.
That was my Ghost. That was my Dead Air Ghost 45 on my Strybog. I told that story last week, I think, on the podcast, but I was probably 300 or 400 yards away. Shot twice. They saw the flash. Didn't hear it.
So, are Hucks working in video games a lot?
No.
No.
Really?
No, I don't think they've adapted yet.
Interesting.
No, I don't think I've seen a single Hux in a video game.
It's
the cans in video games. They don't go that.
they don't get that deep into it.
Yeah.
Not really. Not to be licensed and stuff like that. Like the rifles and the handguns and everything are that they're not as focused on the sales aspect of it in video games as they are with marketing all the rifles and handguns and subguns and shotguns and shit like that.
It's usually just a tube.
Usually just a two.
Yeah. But
all right.
the one game I play, Escape from Tarkov, that has all real cans and they don't have a Hux yet.
Andrew was talking a lot of shit about Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, he can.
Which
It's
Andrew?
crap.
It's my favorite video game.
Andrew skinny, Andrew older. I don't know.
The guy
Not
only
Andrew.
plays Call of Duty.
I
Never been able to get him off a video.
I
That's
don't
all he
play.
wants
I
to
don't play video games, man. So I don't know.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Let me put it to you this way. Andrew does not own a device that is capable of running the video game I'm talking about.
I'm sure he could buy it if he wanted to, though.
There's a lot of thought
it's a
going on there.
computer only game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to rag on your video game, man. Please
Oh,
don't
no.
take it. It's not me.
I understand.
I'm just saying that he was.
I get
talking a lot.
defensive about Tarkov.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
he
this
does.
is-
Okay, so he gets defensive. You get a defensive about Tarkov.
Oh, it's my favorite video game ever.
Okay, so you were talking about Tarkov and I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine.
Then tell
he made
me.
me watch a 2-hour movie about Escape from Tarkov once.
And did you like it?
Yeah,
I'll watch a movie about it. Is there a movie?
Yeah.
They did
Where?
a live action.
It's on YouTube.
Can you send me the link? I'd love to watch a movie.
It's
about it.
I think it's the best gunfighting ever. Like,
It's a video game.
It's pretty good.
My wife was like this.
it's also Russian.
Even better.
The live action thing that they did was actually really neat. Like that,
really neat, right?
Yeah, the cinematography, is that the right word?
Cinematography.
Fuck, that was close.
Look, I knew a word.
They did a really good job with all the cameras swinging around all over the place. Like the indoor fighting scenes were super good from a CQB perspective. Like they actually put time and effort into it.
Is it animation or
No,
is
it's
it?
live action.
It's live action movie.
It's pretty badass.
It's called Raid.
It's called Raid.
Tarkov Raid.
Why are you so defensive about Tarkov? Like, why
That's
is
a good game.
I feel like
is it a good game? You know it? You play it?
No, I don't have a computer.
so.
I've got one. Maybe I can play.
I'll be very real about it. I'd say 70% of the people that play that game hate that game, and I'm completely fine with that. My problem is with the people that have never played the game that hate on the game.
Wow. Okay.
Because there's a lot of those too.
Okay.
Because they hear all the 70% of the people who play it every day that say they hate it because it is a very punishing game, and then they
punishing?
just jump onto the
Lose all
band.
your stuff
Yeah.
when you die.
When you die, you lose everything you had on you. You could work for an hour and do everything right. Last second, some dude on a treetop 300 meters away just, and then you lost all of that progress.
Or
it's
8 hours.
It's a very punishing game, and people who play it daily that are, actually enjoy it say that they hate it, and there's a lot of people that do actually hate it. My problem is when people who've never even touched the game jump on the bandwagon and then start going, "Yeah, that game sucks." Like, have you played it? And then
He's
Dean,
passionate about
Video
his
game
game.
rights, right?
Dean tells me he hates it all the time because he played it for like an hour back when the beta first came out.
I played it for maybe like a week. It was just, I didn't enjoy it. Look, Will, you would go through this and get all the best guns. You'd be so happy. Oh, I'm kitted out. And some guy in a fucking bush will pop out and poke you with a knife and you die and everything falls on the ground.
That's what
Can
happens
you?
in PUBG,
Is it?
too.
Is it in like? Can you hear people like talking shit when
Oh
they
yeah,
kill you?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh man.
It's my favorite thing to do.
I just didn't like it back then. And yes, I didn't go back to it after all the updates. So
I really need you as an employee, but man, it would be if you did like a live stream of like and use the voice and fuck and just talk shit to people while killing them. You would.
Please explain to the camera what the voice is.
I mean, your Middle Eastern voice. You know, like if you
Don't do
just
the
like
voice.
ran like a Twitch account and you like dressed up and just fucking killed people and just talk shit about them.
Elaborate on dressed up.
We digress.
I don't want to seem racist.
We digress. The next topic on the podcast, sheet of development, would be
We've been going for a little bit, so we're gonna call it. So
End it with the voice.
hello.
I just think you're missing your calling, man. It would be really
I have a public image I need to preserve now, Will. I don't know if I can do all that.
absolutely, and I need you as an employee.
Oh my god.
Look, we want to thank you for watching Sharos Tactical Podcast, Episode 5. If you can, like our page, smash that button, smash the bell, go to Instagram. You can find us there, Sharos Tactical. You have to type out the whole thing because we're shadow banned. And go to Facebook. Our page is SCT Laser and Customs because our original page got nuked. Go to our website, sign up for our emails. We're always slinging really good deals. We'll be back next week talking about more shenanigans, and maybe we'll go more into Omar's possible alternate online persona that he could be in video games. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Thank you.